Hello everybody, Ben Rogers here, the Raptors Digest, reacting to the Toronto Raptors 121-111 loss to the Denver Nuggets. Riker, the Raptors, they were in this game, it was looking solid, it was back and forth against a strong Denver team that was fighting really hard, and the fourth quarter, everything collapsed.
Is that you throwing it back to me?
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
It was very disappointing. I was out for this one. I missed the first three quarters, Ben. I tuned back in. It's the start of a 0-15 run for the Toronto Raptors. Denver, they scored 15 points straight. It seemed like there was no production from the bench. Didn't seem like fourth quarter Flynn was here to step up in this one. Pascal Siakam seemed like a pylon. Ben, what was the reason for this collapse? You watched three good quarters, and I watch an absolute dumpster fire out here tonight.
Well, the big thing we gotta take away is the bench starting off that fourth quarter. It was messy, and Monoculus, he's out here starting off with a super chat. Nurse on Team Tank right now, and I think Nick Nurse has been on Team Tank. We appreciate this super chat, and you could certainly say that with that bench unit lineup, but I guess he has to take out the starters, because the starters were actually, outside of Pascal Siakam, were pretty solid in this game, but otherwise, the start of the fourth, as you said, they came out there and just really couldn't put it all together. Whether it's Freddie Gillespie, who just got the contract, he's struggling a little bit as of late. Utah, Stanley Johnson, Rodney Hood, the tank commander. He didn't throw out Aaron Baines, but I'm surprised. You said Siakam's out there looking like a pylon, and before we before we dive into any more takes, we have another super chat. They're coming in hot to this for the start. It is Peasant Plays, here on my alt, but this game was all about fueling up our tank. And Marcel, Peasant Plays, we appreciate you hitting us up on both accounts. The one of the legends of the super chat, but Riker, it's got to be Team Tank right now.
I love it. Marcel Martin put a name to the count. I love it. Coming at us with the alternate account. What did you say, Ben? What was your question?
The tank is fueled up, and that's the direction we're going in. That's the bench unit. You're on board. I think we can put this animation to rest. Is everyone in this chat, all 64 viewers, on Team Tank right now, Riker?
Yeah. Well, we put it to bed last game. We
Yeah.
said that this is it. This is officially the tank. So we're just trying to have fun with the conclusion of the season. And let's get straight into positives, Ben, because the one positive that jumps out at me from the box score seems to be OG Anunoby. Not terribly efficient in this one from three. He was still hitting it at 50%, 4 for 8, looked great. And more than that, Ben, it seems like he's being in control of the offense a lot. What did you see from OG tonight? What is promising about this guy moving into next season?
Well, the thing I really like about this is OG Anunoby, again, he's been on a hot streak, he's been confident, he's feeling good, and tonight, he wasn't really in a rhythm. He was in one of those games where the shots weren't going down, and these were the games we'd usually see OG miss a couple shots, and then he'd back off, and he wouldn't take his shots, he wouldn't be confident, he'd start passing, deferring to other players. But even though maybe you could argue that it's the end of the season and we're tanking, so there's no pressure, and that could certainly be the case. But regardless of all of that, Riker, OG Anunoby came out in here confident, regardless of if the shots were going in, and that's the next evolution to OG Anunoby's game. Not just being able to get 20 points per night when you're feeling good, when the shots are going down, you're less stiff, right? But those games where you are stiff, the defense is loading up on you a bit, and you can play through it, and maybe not the most efficient night from him, 8 of 21, but still 25 points, 3 assists, and those passes were beautiful, and some boards. But, Riker, before you respond about OG Anunoby, Paul Blunt is coming in with the super chat. We got multiple super chats going on. We'll talk Paul Blunt's first. It is Paul Blunt, on my Paul Blunt account. Go Tank. Everyone's talking the tank. We'll play the kazoos for everyone in the chat. Shout out Paul Blunt. We appreciate the super chat. But Riker, do you agree with OG before we dive into this or talk about the tank?
I hate that I've had to ask for you to rephrase the question the third time here, but agree that OG is tentative this game, or
just his overall improvement. Are you excited about the direction he's going in?
I'm excited about the direction for OG Anunoby. I'm less excited about Pascal Siakam seeming to go in the other way after we had just touted him for the last couple of games. But again, you're looking at the positives. What can you take away from this very unspectacular season? And it's that OG Anunoby seems to be confident to do dribble moves, to look for the ball, to be in the paint, to shoot the three. And so all of those things are absolutely promising, Ben.
Yeah, certainly, and I'll break down those other super chats. Now, look at the animation playing every time they come up. Epitomize, I believe I pronounced that correctly. Team Tank, Wave, Baines. Unfortunately, it looks like Baines is going to be moving on from this squad, but we appreciate the super chat. And from Gamer Boy Devin, we got some reoccurring super chats. People are up late. They're waiting for this pod, and they're hitting the super chats hard, saying the Raptors definitely ran out of gas. Hard as whatever tonight, but really digging what OG been doing lately. He's been looking for his points, and that's certainly the case. Gamer Boy, we agree with that, Devin. And OG Anunoby, we've been touching around the subject. Do you think he could potentially be an all-star next year, Ryker?
I don't know, all-star or not, but here's the thing, Ben. Positioning matters, obviously, for all-star selection, but Gamer Boy's point on he's been looking for his points. Why not? This season is rode off. It wasn't rode off, but now it's rode off. We know where the Raptors are going to seed. It's going to be 12th. And unless something happens where the Bulls are in a race to the bottom with the Raptors, it's going to be the 12th seed that the Raptors finish. And so in knowing that, you need to allow your guys to develop, have a bit of free reign, do maybe some crazier things on offense. And as a coaching staff, you need to say to the most important guys on this team, OG, Malachi Flynn, Siakam to an extent, right? Guys that you want to be more creators. Go out and create. Go out and do things that you wouldn't necessarily have the green light to do, because next season, it's pull up your pants time. It's be a man. We need to start winning some games. We need to be above 500. We need to be in the playoffs. That's my opinion, Ben.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. And Baines' animation, he's popping up left, right, and center. But Ryker, before we dive into all those names that you brought up, we gotta plug it now. We got 140 people in this chat, and we're not plugging us. Well, I guess it is us. It's our team. But one team that isn't tanking right now, a team that is not playing the kazoos, is the Toronto Maple Leafs. And Ryker and I don't know too much about the hockey scene, the NHL scene, but our colleague, our guy at the Raptors Digest, Josh Goodwin does, and Zach Phillips. Both of those guys do, and they are the new leads of the Leafs, the Maple Leafs Digest, and Ryker, we're expanding. They dropped their first video tonight. You guys, whether you're watching this live now, we got their channel featured in our main channel. We're going to plug them a lot on this podcast. We're excited to get the growth of the brand, and overlapping fan bases, the Maple Leafs, the Toronto Raptors. If you're interested in the Maple Leafs, definitely 10 out of 10, check them out. Great podcasters. You guys already know Josh, so check that stuff out over there. Ryker, you excited to get that brand growing? We got the merch. We got the Leafs Digest cooking.
I'm extremely excited, and we've been curating this for a while. Get the balloons out, Ben. No, it's great. It's a great group of guys, and this is the exciting thing about opening the Leafs Digest right now is I believe they're in first in their division. I believe they're going to make the playoffs. I believe they haven't won a playoff series since 2004 against the Ottawa Senators. So this is a fantastic time to pop over to the NHL bandwagon, because things are a little bit grim here if you're looking for playoff action on the NBA side and you're looking to support a Toronto-based team. So that's going to be pretty sweet. I also see Philippe Angers. I don't know how to pronounce the last name, but shout out. He was our first sweater purchaser. Ooh. And it's hitting the printing line tomorrow. So I was actually going to email you, Philippe, tomorrow to say, hey, it's going to be hot and printed. So shout out. Let's bring it back to basketball for a little bit, Ben. I know that this is not the most exciting game ever, but it is what it is, right? You're ending the season with a very difficult stretch, and you'd want a little bit more from the bench. Before we bring it to the segment, say, does anything else get you excited? I missed the first three quarters. If I'm looking at the box score, I see Khem Birch, 20 points. He was +8 on the plus minus, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Was he doing everything out there tonight, Ben, or are these stats a little bit deceiving?
Well, Riker, peasant plays. Marcel Martin, he's got the dual identities. He's coming out saying big body Birch looked pretty decent. Baby Bosch, question mark? And he had a career high tonight. I was shocked when they announced that on the broadcast. A guy that's been in the league for 4 years. I always thought he was a rotation piece. I believe they said his career high was 14 before the night, which is wild to think about considering he has been a solid NBA player. 20 points and 20... Well, that's Kyle Lowry, but 20 points for him as well. 8 boards. I was going to say, he got 7 assists as well. He had 4 assists. But the way he was cutting, the way he was getting to the rim, Riker, it was just really exciting to see. And now we've been praising him since he's entered this Toronto Raptors roster, especially considering we didn't have anyone truly playing center all year. And he completely changes the dynamic with that starting unit out there. Unfortunately, Freddie Gillespie, he's shown stints and things, but Birch is a true, legit NBA center. He catches the ball, he dunks it whenever he's underneath the rim. He was finishing over Jokic tonight, but the one area that I think no one expected with Khem Birch was a jump shot. You and I said when the video where he was brought in, okay, he has a decent enough form. Maybe he can hit a couple of mid-rangers. He's taken a few threes for the Orlando Magic in his career. Maybe we'll see a Brook Lopez changing of the three-point shot late in his career. And it seems like he's done that right now, Riker. 2 of 2 from the three-point line. It seems every second game a three's going in. If he has a summer in a Toronto Raptors, or with the Toronto Raptors training staff, coaching staff, motivating him to shoot some threes, if Khem Birch is knocking down that shot, I'd argue he's an average starting center in the NBA.
Jonas?
I'd argue he's an average starting center.
Well, he was a guy that was waived. That's a legitimate pickup.
He was waived too with the knowledge that he was going to get picked up by the Raptors. They waived him so that he could get more minutes on a more serious team. But Ben, here's the thing, and I love the energy that you just went in, and I love where you're bringing this, but your point is that the development staff on the Raptors, the offseason is going to promote or bring out his three-point shooting acumen. That just simply has not been the case with big men on Toronto Raptors. If we look at Pascal Siakam, yeah, his three-point shot has slowly developed, but it's still nowhere near good. The Raptors are like the least consistent three-point shooting team in the NBA.
His shot got good. It developed, it became very nice, and then it had a ridiculous regression this season. Because he went from 20s in the mid-20s, I believe. 18s. Yeah, 18s. He had one of the worst three-point shooting percentages of all time. Then it became league average when he was with that bench mob. And then with the Kawhi year, the championship year, his mid-30s, he was taking those corner threes. And then at the start of last year, especially pre-bubble, he was hitting pull-up off the dribble, hand in the face, money clutch threes. That was the case pre-bubble for Pascal Siakam. And then after he didn't touch a basketball for 3 months, the threes, it's like you and I, we don't play basketball when intramural season is off for a long time. It looks rough there for a while. Unfortunately, he hasn't really turned the corner. And I don't know. I think the Raptors, just to go back to the development staff, obviously Khem Birch is an older player, but a jump shot is something he can develop. It's something he's talked about in post-game conferences or just for media reports with this Toronto Raptors team. Nick Nurse is giving him the confidence to have the green light. And if he can just become an average three-point shooter, just someone that, it was the big question mark we had when talking about centers coming into the season. You want someone that you can't leave out there on an island. If he can get to that level, his athleticism, his shot blocking ability, his long arms, the fact that he dunks everything around the rim, I'm very encouraged having him on this roster. I talked about him as the prime backup center, but if that three-point shot develops, he's a legitimate starting five in my opinion.
Fair enough. I'm just reading through the comments as they scroll through. People aren't liking you defending Pascal Siakam. They're also saying that you made similar arguments for Aaron Baines with developing the three-point shot, but this is a little bit different, or a lot different.
When did I say that he's going to develop? I said he had one because we watched that one video of him hitting like step-back threes at 37 points.
Well, not only did we watch one video, we also witnessed him splash threes against the Toronto Raptors when he was a Boston Celtic. So
yeah. It's Aaron Baines, we won't bring him up. Definitely don't go back and watch our video. If you're going to go watch a video that's not produced, or I guess it is produced tonight, go to Leafs Digest. That's what I'm going to keep plugging. But before we swing to the segments, Riker, Kyle Lowry, he's been playing better as of late. He plays better against all the teams. We don't need to dive into him too much. He's Kyle Lowry. But Malachi Flynn, he had the worst plus-minus for the team, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fourth quarter. Just they were loading up on him. It was a bit messy, but 16 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. He hit some threes. His dribble pull-up looked nice. He only took 9 shots, Riker, but I think I'm really encouraged with Malachi Flynn.
I didn't see fourth quarter Flynn tonight. I really only tuned into the fourth, and so I'm going to have to take your word for it that he played well in the first 3 quarters, Ben.
Yeah, no, it was exciting. The deep bench, they struggled, but we can talk about all that as the segments move along. And Riker, tonight, the spicy pea lay of the day, and nothing really jumps out at me watching this one. I may have missed some things, but Freddie Gillespie, the one I'm rocking with is Freddie Gillespie coming in down the lane and came down with a little lefty reverse. It was similar to the dunk Siakam had the other night, where he threw it over his head and popped in. But that was exciting. Marcel Martin's coming in with another super chat saying, "Did we miss out on not pursuing Elise Johnson?" Apparently, I always mess that up, that name. So I'll give myself the Charles Barkley. Elise Johnson. No, that's how I've been saying it. That's how I've been saying it. And then people will always come at me in the comment section, whatever. But he's been playing well for the Brooklyn Nets, Riker.
I thought he got dropped by the Brooklyn Nets after. I didn't know he was still on the team.
I believe they signed him to a multi-year deal.
Really?
Yeah, that might have been fake news. That might, it's 1:30 here.
Let me peep the box score here tonight, but, you're probably right.
Yeah.
You're probably right.
Yeah, just peep in the chat and stuff. Danny's out here asking for Leafs Digest. Go check out Leafs Digest. Check it out, especially whether you're watching this live or not. Pull it up in another tab. Give it a like. Give it a subscribe. Give this a like. People are asking for like spikes earlier. But, Riker, Alize,
20 points, 21 rebounds tonight.
21 boards.
21 boards, 32 minutes off the bench in a win against the Pacers, where Malcolm Brogdon supposedly went out with a hamstring issue. They're having a rough go. They're having a rough go if they've had to put O'Shea Brissett into the starting rotation.
He's been good.
Which
O'Shea Brissett's been great.
And that sounds like really negative against him, but like simple fact is he got cut by the Raptors, who are an awful team this season, or at least the last couple of games, and now he's got picked up into the starting unit of a team that's trying to make the playoffs. So
yeah, no, for sure. But they're in the play-in tournament. The Pacers have been struggling. That's been a weird year. I'm happy to see O'Shea Brissett play well, but Riker, we had a long spicy Pele there, but not all plays can be the spicy Pele of the day, and some just make you say, oh, geez. And honestly, the fourth quarter, the whole run, I'm going to give it to you, Riker, the OG's play of the day, because you came back for the fourth, you texted me, I'm tuning in, and it's immediately after you started watching, the game just completely blew up. So I'm giving you the OGs, and along with the bench squad, coming out there and struggling. Utah, Stanley, Rodney Hood, Bembry, none of those guys have really set themselves apart, really been offensive threats. Did you see Bembry's new style in this game here today?
No.
No? You didn't see, he didn't have the headband, he didn't have, the loose, it looked like more like Kawhi braids rather than, the loose ones he usually has. Looked like a different guy. I didn't recognize him when he was out there, so that's an OG. We got some Jalen Harris in there, too. He had a turnover, which was unfortunate. Apparently, he's a bucket, watching him in the G League and stuff. But do you have any specific OGs plays you saw, Riker?
There was one play, and this is a tough one to describe, but basically, OG made a move. He was out on the wing, made a move, beat his man, help defense came up, caught him on the low block. And so he did basically a pump fake. He turned around to see if maybe a fadeaway was an option, but defense was right there. But on the deeper low block, almost baseline, was Pascal Siakam and his man standing dead still, watching this whole thing, not moving out of the way, not giving OG more space, just standing there. Ball got swung out to the perimeter. Pascal Siakam just stood there, didn't move off the low block, deep low block, almost baseline. And it just frustrated me to no end to watch that one specific play, because he just seem to have his head in his butter, his head in the sand. That's a key indication if you're not engaged with the team. If the man picks up his dribble and you're still standing there right in front of him, clogging up the paint, like, go to the other side. Go to the other side of the key. Don't clog it up. Don't give the opportunity for a double team on a guy that doesn't even have his dribble. Like, I was offended watching the play back.
Offended. And honestly, he was my DeMar Carroll Gold Star Award. We didn't talk about him that much earlier on, but 11 points for Siakam, 5-11 from the field. And you mentioned it. He just looked zoned out of it. And you really question, right? You question whether, the coaching staff is saying, oh, Fred's out, Trent's out, we're tanking. Maybe they know. But when you're out there on the court, you got to try. You got to at least be engaged. And he wasn't shooting horribly. He only had 2 turnovers. He just wasn't out there doing the things we wanted to see. And with his struggles, with his just poor season, it's the only way to describe it. His poor season that he had, these are the games where you really get the momentum going for next year. No pressure, right? The team, you can give him the ball, he can drive in, he can take some shots every now and then, and he's had games like it, but it's really important to be able to do it against the better rosters, against playoff teams. And even if you're losing, we're happy OG's doing it, we're happy Malachi is performing well, but you want to see our main guy, our number one option, Pascal Siakam, be able to do it. Riker, you're laughing. Is the chat wild in right now?
No. I don't know why. I think I was just smiling. I was just trying to bring some positive energy into this one. I was about to give an excuse to say, you know what, they got a lot of big guys. JaMychal Green, Michael Porter Jr. Who else is who I'm trying to think of? Paul Millsap, obviously, and then Jokic and Aaron Gordon. Like, there's a lot of bigs. There's a lot of stretch 4s, stretch 5s on this team. But, we look at who was Pascal Siakam's player comparison last season. Tatum, Brown, right? Are these guys going to struggle? Are they going to use that excuse that, this Denver Nuggets team is a little bit longer? No, they're still going to get 20 points.
Yep.
And so it is just a little bit tiring to make consistent excuses for Pascal Siakam. I don't want to be a Siakam apologist like I'm a ref apologist. I just want more from this man. And so I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt that this season isn't a season. But, we can't just not give him criticism every time he plays poorly because he needs to play better.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Regardless, Siakam needs to be able to score over big guys. The Bucks, the 76ers, even the Celtics, I'm sure they're going to come back with some bigger guys next season. Right, the Brooklyn Nets, Nick Claxton, right, Kevin Durant's a long defender. They're a little bit smaller, but specifically the Sixers and the Bucks, those are teams that we really need to have Siakam playing well against if we want to make a playoff run in the future. So it's unfortunate. Before we swing it into the final segment, Riker, we have a super chat from Marcel Martin. He's out here rocking out, saying we needed Boucher on the perimeter tonight, and Boucher's presence, especially off the bench, it's really been felt. The bench has just fallen off a cliff as of late, and it's probably by design. We got Trent resting, Boucher is properly injured, Fred VanVleet, he's been in and out. We have people in and out. We're a top-heavy team regardless, so it's tough. It's a tough situation.
I gotta shut this down too, Ben. Matthew Coombs comment, you guys are fair weather fans. Fair weather fans. You and I, Ben, fair weather fans. Let me finish it off. We don't get a chip without Pascal Siakam. We cooked Draymond Green in the finals. Show some respect. Don't call us fair weather fans. I've been sitting on these dusty Knicks here for years and years and years. I suffered as a Knicks fan. I've suffered as a Raptors fan throughout all of the eras. There is no such thing as fair weather fan on this podcast, Ben. That's an insane comment. But the fact is, again, we can't be apologists for Siakam's continued inconsistent and then sometimes borderline terrible performance. Like, sometimes he doesn't even look like a G Leaguer out there, let alone a $120 million player. So there's a difference between disparaging him and wanting more, expecting more, needing more from him. We think he'll turn it around, but it's tough in these kinds of games.
Yeah, no, 1,000%. And we've been the biggest Siakam guys for the longest while. I've been hoping this guy turns the corner, been supporting him, been hyping him up when he plays well, but you gotta give the color the the credit where it's due. But Riker, we're swinging it into the final
Oh, whoops, sorry. I don't. Matthew Coombs is apparently saying to our comment section that they're Fairweather fans. So sorry for putting you on blast there, Matthew Coombs.
We appreciate the takes. We love to see it. But regardless where it is, but Riker, we gotta swing it. And people are calling for a like spike. We're only at 46 likes on this pod here. We got 200 people in the chat. Really helps us out with those likes. So hop that on as we bring in the final alarm, folks. Woo 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 woo. Beep 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 beep. Beep beep beep.
Leafs Digest.
Leafs Digest. That's right, the final alarm has gone off, and we're plugging it again because people come and go through these lives. The Leafs Digest has been launched. It got off the ground super quick. The Leafs are doing well. It's perfect time to sort of jump on their bandwagon, whether you're a hockey fan or not. Check them out. We're going to probably hop on the Leafs bandwagon now, watch the games, get the info from Phil and Josh, because they got some... I got to catch the first half of it because then we had to go live, but a quality video up there now. So check out Leafs Digest, subscribe to their channel, like their video, because help them get into the algorithm as we get all that stuff cooking. But Riker, we're trying to hear all these takes, everything happening in the chat. Let us know what you think of those vids as well. Flying with KB saying TFC Digest, please. Riker, do you think we could be able to bust out a TFC Digest?
What is that? What is that acronym?
Toronto FC.
Toronto FC.
Oh, clearly we could.
Oh, no thanks.
Hey, I think it could be cool. Whoa! Peep the chat, Riker. Peep the chat. We have a legendary super chat from the man himself, Peasant Plays, Marcel Martin. The man of many names, the man of many super chats, saved it for the final alarm, saying, real Raptors fans who were here before Kawhi, before DeMar, before Kyle, even before Bosch. We know what this team needs to be great. We can't let Pascal's below average play go without critique when we've entrusted him to lead us, and he's failed. Riker, $50 super chat from Marcel. I hope we're pronouncing the name correctly.
There's only one way to pronounce Marcel.
We appreciate you. Legendary super chat, $50 super chat with a tremendous monologue there in the comment, and I can 100% agree because we came into this season with hopes that Pascal Siakam would be the guy, that Serge Ibaka left, Marc Gasol left. We had a lot of scoring, a lot of just front court ability taken away from this Toronto Raptors roster. And he came in, he struggled in the bubble, he was stepping up last year, and we were hoping he was going to pick up where he left off before the bubble happened, and he just hasn't done it. Quality take there, Riker.
It's a very fair take. We've just been so privileged as a Raptors fan base. Mm-hmm. And it really started with the introduction of Kyle Lowry, right? Because once we paired him up alongside DeMar DeRozan, this team, they became a perennial playoff team. And I think what happened is we became spoiled to expect that 50 wins per season is something that's not extraordinarily difficult to achieve, right? We became very routine in our expectations to at least make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And then what happened was, because we never exceeded expectations in the playoffs, we always got stuck against a team LeBron or a Paul Pierce team, whatever have you, then that was always the focus. It's, are our guys going to let us down come playoff time? Then we have that one spectacular season, obviously got a championship. Now all of a sudden we're struggling to fight for the play-in tournament. Yeah, it's a real shock to the system because we had 8 years where it was never up for consideration or up for doubt that the Raptors weren't going to make the playoffs, weren't going to secure 45 to 50 wins. So, it's different, and that's the reason that there's panic and criticism and everything. But end of the day, we both believe the Raptors are going to be a playoff team next season. Mm-hmm. But in order to do that, your best guy is the most paid guy needs to play like the best guy. And so Marcel Martin, he's on the nose. He's got to play better. He has to.
And
there's no reason to not play good.
Yeah.
There's no pressure.
Yeah, especially in games like this. If you're playing, or if you're not going to be engaged, sit out. If you're going to watch movies in your head while you're out there, just chill, just stay on the bench.
Don't be a Kevin Love.
Yeah, exactly. Don't be throwing that ball out there. Hurting your brand. Siakam gets trashed in the mainstream, not even basketball media, just everything. But, Ryker, you said the Raptors are privileged for a long time with lots of talent, lots of players, and we've been privileged with everyone in the chats, Marcel Martin, Peasant Plays, everyone that's been out here, especially tonight and in previous podcasts. And we appreciate you guys. And this segment's all about the final alarm. When we originally made it, we're like, okay, we'll have 2 good minutes of long banter, and you guys just make this segment, this part, super quality. So we appreciate it. Lots of cool stuff. Ryker, people are asking about the Blue Jays Digest? ? No?
Oh yeah, well, we were in conversation, we were in cahoots, and it's a commitment. It's a big commitment to start a podcast, and I think people have become very familiar with our faces and our personalities, but that's only happened through 4 years of consistency. So it's very daunting to start a YouTube channel if you're not willing to fight and battle through that beginning period where you're not getting a lot of views, you're not getting a lot of feedback from it. So
but Josh,
Ryan Lavinia, I look like a Walmart red Van Vliet. I don't think there's any similarities there. What were you gonna say about Josh?
Bro, the Red Van Vliet, that's Malachi's new name, right?
Red Van Vliet?
Yeah, that's what people have been calling Malachi now. Red Van Vliet.
Really?
I can see the resemblance a little bit to you and Malachi. You got the quality look, but people are bringing all that stuff, lawn bowling, digest, everything. But 2 guys that will be committed, Josh and Josh and Phil, they're gonna kill it. So
Billy,
check out their podcast over there, Leafs Digest. We're plugging that more than we're plugging ours tonight because we want to see that growth to get through that first stage. But Felipe Angers is saying Gillespie struggled tonight, and yeah, he's I see the Jenny Digest. I can't.
I'm actually wearing my date shirt tonight. I'm
Right.
wearing my handsome date shirt. So
Ryker went on a little date before this, so I missing the first few quarters, but maybe we gotta get a Ryker date digest. Canadian curling. We love to see it, but I brought up Freddie Gillespie. He's been struggling. There's been a lot of debate about Pascal.
So
get the balloons while you got that dance going.
Yeah, my head's getting itchy. 1 sec. So some deep. It's probably there's a bunch of Raptors Instagram pages out there as well.
Mm.
And so I don't know how credible their sources are, but one of them, and maybe it's an all-NBA one, they have on the left side of the screen breaking or trending, and then the picture.
Okay, yeah.
And then the bottom has like the logo of the
They're
team.
always in our recommended.
They're very catchy. I click on them every time. What's breaking? Never anything. Like I feel like they get so flamed. They must be. It frustrates me that there's never any breaking news, but they trap me every time. I always click on them. But Ben, they said that DeMar DeRozan has listed the Washington Wizards as one of the teams that he would prefer to go to this offseason as a free agent because he has desire to return to the Eastern Conference.
I'm throwing up the Damari Carroll Gold Star Award over that. What? Marcel, I sent that to you guys on IG. Marcel said he sent that to us. But
there you go. He's on top of it as well.
We got to give the shout-outs there, but the Wizards? I would throw up. I would be absolutely shocked. My eyes would start bleeding if I had to see DeMar DeRozan in a Nets jersey, a Wizards jersey, or any of those jerseys from those disgusting playoff rounds early in that. The Wizards were with DeMar DeRozan's. The Wizards were our rivals. They were our rivals, and to see him pair up with like Bradley Beal and that's the smugness he came to those series with. I've come around on Bradley Beal. I don't hate the guy like dislike his on the court stuff early that he was when we were in those playoff battles. But if I had to see DeMar DeRozan in the Wizards in a Wizards jersey, it would be disgusting, Riker. It would be infinite DeMar Carroll Gold Star Awards.
People are asking what's the source. I said it at the beginning. It's just one of those rinky-dink NBA rumor mill fan pages. So I don't know. You probably can't believe a single thing that comes of it, but...
Where would you like to see DeMar go? I think the Knicks would be a great fit.
Well, the Knicks would be cool.
Yeah. Do you think the Raptors? You just pointed to the Raptors. With Gary Trent Jr. and OG Anunoby, do you think you'd like to see DeMar DeRozan be a starter on this Toronto Raptors team?
Yeah, it would have to be Fred, DeMar, OG, Pascal, Khem Birch, and then off the bench, Gary Trent Jr., Boucher, Malachi Flynn.
So
that's a nice
Trent?
8.
Yeah, certainly. But you bring Trent off the bench because we've seen him struggle there.
Yeah, you'd have to bring him off the bench. You're not bringing DeMar DeRozan and put him on the bench.
Yeah. No, certainly. So
not with the way he's played on San Antonio.
Yeah, he's been absolutely remarkable this season. I'd love to see the Raptors bring him back. Kyle Lowry would end up going, which would be really weird because they're best friends. So having one guy come in, one guy go out.
Yeah, but if we signed DeMar, Kyle's not going anywhere.
That's true, but I guess Lowry be off the bench as well. That'd be a nice team.
He would be off the bench for sure.
If we had a bench of Lowry, Trent, and Boucher, and then potentially some filler guys, a draft pick, because we're going to have a lottery pick this year, that could be a really intriguing roster. I'm not sure how the money would work specifically for bringing back Trent. OG just signed his extension, all these guys, so that would be
Oh, shoot, yeah, because we need to re-sign Trent on money, don't we?
Yeah. Trent needs to be resigned. Lowry would have to be resigned tomorrow. So I don't know how that money would work. The Knicks would be really interesting. Let us know in the chat too where you guys would like to see DeMar DeRozan come in. Yeah, Sean Webb is saying we can't afford it, and that's the direction I'd go into. Danny's bringing up we need to trade Pascal to Golden State for the T-Bulls pick. That's a hot take.
Yeah, they're not accepting that trade either.
Yeah, but a lot of people are out here saying trade Pascal Siakam. Would you?
How dumb do we look though? Like seriously, how dumb do we look not trading Pascal Siakam for Paul George and Russell Westbrook to keep Kawhi Leonard?
I don't know. That's a trade that I still kind of stand by because it wouldn't have just been Pascal and Fred. They were on rookie contracts. They didn't have their extensions. It would have been Kyle Lowry involved. It would have been Serge involved. And it would have been the plethora of picks that the Clippers sent to the Oklahoma City Thunder. So there was a lot that would have been involved with that. And Riker, are you telling me you'd like to watch on a nightly basis Russell Westbrook, Paul George, and these guys play, even if it meant keeping Kawhi? I don't know. I think it would have just corrupted the Raptors roster, and apparently it was fake news as well. It was just the Clippers or the Thunder were never going to actually do that deal. They knew they were just going to hike up the asking price for the LA Clippers, get the bargaining, and they got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It was our second biggest video, Riker. It was one of my. I've gotten better at the photoshops now, but that was one of my proudest photoshops back in the day. Westbrook and PG. I also noticed one thing too. The real reason DeMar DeRozan was traded video. That's at 97K views. We haven't cracked 100 here on YouTube. Maybe get a few people to give that a few watches. Hype up the ego. Get one.
Nice to get to the 100 mark.
Yeah, or maybe even get this podcast at 100, this one here, the random 2 a.m. reaction to the Denver Nuggets loss.
Yeah, speaking of, I'm getting itchy, man. I'm getting itchy. The hair, the head, the face. When I'm tired, I get itchy, man. So
Bro,
we got to sign it off.
People were surprised that you were on this podcast, considering your bedtime.
They could see my eyes, how tired and sleepy my eyes have been this entire time.
Honestly, we'll give you the balloons. The balloons will pop up just for Riker for coming after this vid, and we gotta plug it one more time in this at the end of this video. Everyone that's in the chat, The Toronto Maple Leafs Digest, the Leafs Digest, Josh and Phil, they're taking it over. They're taking over that scene. The Leafs, they're on a playoff run. They're doing their thing. I believe they're the best team in Canada right now. They're the cross crease grease, the dirty dangles from Austin Matthews out here pulling up. I got the flow going, right? The Leafs Digest. Paul Blunt's out here with the itchy digest. People are asking for like spikes. People are asking for all this, but definitely 10 out of 10. Recommend you guys check out that channel. Got a lot of growth, a lot of big things coming here, so we appreciate it. But Ryker, do you have any reactions before we close it?
Ryker looks like how Pascal Siakam played tonight. That's funny.
It's 2 a.m. here. You gotta do your best. Gotta grind these pods out. But we gotta
go to bed to the sweet sound of Leafs Digest. That's all I'm gonna say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got Zach Phillips. He's a co-host, the lead host on the Leafs Digest, saying need more hockey references from me. I will definitely be dropping them in future videos because we're excited to see how all these could go. But you guys are the best for making this far. Check out the Twitter, the Instagram, all the cool stuff. RaptorsDigest.ca, the TikTok, and obviously Leafs Digest because it's gonna blow up. You want to get in early. You want to be an early subscriber so you can tell people. I knew them from day one. Get on there tonight. Check out their most recent video. Shout out Marcel Martin for the big super chat. Shout out Paul Blunt. Everyone that was in here with the super chats. Everyone that was chatting in this vid. We appreciate everyone up late. Ryker, should I rant about anything else as we continue as I keep you up on this pod?
No. Good night, folks. To anybody that says good night, sweet Ryker. Thank you. It helps. Makes me feel good. Cheers.